Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gridiron 2020. Dr. Ron Poniewasz, football MD, and Professor Larry Kelly, the instructor of Lawrence County football, is joining us here to the award-winning Gridiron. It is often imitated. Never once can it be duplicated, Mr. Kelly.
I like that, and I agree with that. I agree. Award-winning Gridiron podcast. Yes, I love it. And well-deserved, if I may say so. Well-deserved, I think.
That's right. Second place. Hey, we had to settle for it, but that's who we are. But hey, we are award-winning. And this is the Red Hurricane Report. Larry's ready. He has transitioned from his Shenango Gold to his Red Hurricane Red and Black. Mr. Kelly, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I'm proud of my guys. I thought that they acquitted themselves very well on Friday. They played the best team in the WPIAL, and they played them on their home turf. And they battled. They competed. And that's what life's all about. You're not always going to win, but you should compete. And that's what they did Friday night. And as a result, they did not go quietly into that good night. So I'm proud of my guys. And Chris Hood did something special. He is, I believe, the 15th quarterback in the history of the WPIAL to run for 1,000 yards and throw for 1,000 yards. And he is the first quarterback in the history of the storied tradition of Newcastle football to do that. So kudos to Chris Hood. What a great year this young man had. The bigger the moment, the better he got. And that tells me something about this young man and what a special athlete and person he is. Look, I'm sure if you ask the coaches at Newcastle, you're not satisfied going out in the second round. Every year you want to win the Whippeal Championship. That's what it's all about. But I thought as a program, they took a step forward. As a team, they continually got better. And they played hard and with great enthusiasm. And they competed on Friday night against the best team in the Whippeal on their home turf. So congratulations to the Red Hurricane.
Two things I will add to that, Larry. Number one, they finished 7-5 this year. That's on the heels of a 1-5 season last year with obviously no playoffs. And last year they surrendered 35 points a game in every one of those games, including they gave up 35 in their win. Their other games, they gave up at least 44 points a game. This year they allowed 14 points or less in 4 games. And I think 4 games they allowed 35 or something like that, 42 maybe or more. So the defense was definitely improved this year, and that's what they needed. They had to have better defense this year if they were going to do anything. And the reason they contended for a conference championship and played at Aliquippa for a conference title is because of that improved defense. That's number one. Any thoughts on the defense?
Yeah, well, yes. If you're going to win a championship in any sport, and I don't care if you're talking about basketball or baseball or football, it starts on the defensive side of the ball. In football, and in basketball, you got to get stops. In baseball, you can only give them 3 outs. And when you do that and you do that consistently, you're going to be in every ball game and have a chance to win in every game. And certainly their defensive performance this year was better than it really was not only last year, but in several years past.
Sure. The other point is you always say that I wear the black hat. I am the bad guy of this group, and apparently
you are.
Okay. Apparently you are lobbing a softball to me because Chris Hood did go into the 1,000-yard rushing and passing yardage club. However, as I dug around and found out, according to @WPIAL Blitz Twitter, The criteria is regular season only, and he had 950 rushing yards prior to the Bell Vernon game. He had 700 and some odd rushing yards prior to the first playoff game. So while he did have 1,000 rushing and 1,000 passing, it took regular season and postseason to do that. But by no means does it diminish what he did on the field. It was a great accomplishment. But to say that he's one of 14 in the WPIL, there's a hell of a lot more players than 14 that did it, and it's because that stretches into the regular season and postseason. Right now, there still is only 13 players that have done it in the regular season only. How many there are that have done it with the benefit of postseason games, I don't know. But again, that does not diminish what he has done on the field. Left a lot of great memories for fans and coaches. One that sticks out for me is the game-winning touchdown pass against Montour with 8.3 seconds left to Austin Kelly. He is, Larry, if you were to grab a dictionary and say, look up the words "big boy pants," you're gonna have a picture of Chris Hood, probably standing next to Mike Wells, and they're displaying big boy pants, and maybe they're holding a sign that says, "Hi, Larry Kelly."
I like it. And maybe for the cover of your basketball tip-off, you should have a couple of the Red Hurricane holding up big boy pants, because I know we're not talking about basketball tonight, but they do have big boy pants on that team. But, the fact that it took Chris 2 playoff games to reach that, that statistical benchmark, that certainly doesn't diminish what happened here. Right. Because the fact that you can get the extra yardage in a playoff game against a very good Highlands team, against the best team in the Whitfield Bell Vernon, makes it even more impressive. Look, 1,000 on the ground and 1,000 in the air. I don't care how you get it and when you get it. That's special. That's a special accomplishment. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to me, it doesn't matter. You get it. You earned it. You got it. It goes in the record book.
Yeah. And WPIL Blitz Twitter is the one that had that link. And then they provided the story. SteelCityBlitz.com is the site that recognized the 13 players that had it. There's 12 listed on there. It's an outdated article. It's from a couple years ago. A 13th player got it, I think, last regular season game. So that's where we stand on that. A couple names that a lot of people will recognize. Darius Wise from Beaver, played obviously football and basketball. You should remember that name from basketball. I certainly do.
Very good basketball player, absolutely.
Yeah, the kid that played quarterback at Boston College, Jerkovic.
Phil Jerkovic was the best junior high basketball player I ever saw. He played against me as an 8th grader. He scored 30 points in both games that he played against Newcastle that year, and didn't have a 3-point field goal in either game. And we had some special players on that Newcastle team. We had Geno Stone, who's in the NFL, and Marcus Hooker, who's at Ohio State. So Phil Jerkovic was special.
Sure. Okay, that is what we have for Red Hurricane Report, unless you have anything else, Larry, that you would like to say?
No, again, I'm proud of my guys. They competed, they played hard, and they didn't win, but that's okay. The victory is in the effort, and their effort was grade A that night.
I do have to ask you one question, though. I made a phone call last week to Sam Flora, business-related phone call. I was returning a phone call from him. And if he had called me back instead of emailing, which I believe he emailed me back, I would have asked him, have you heard from Larry Kelly? Has he told you to make the phone call? So, Larry, did you call Sam Flora and tell him to make the phone call?
No, I didn't have to call him because I know he watches the award-winning Gridiron podcast. So, when I see him the next time, I'm going to ask him if he made the call. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did. And if he wasn't going to make it, I'd have made it.
Sure. Okay. Well, good luck to Newcastle in the offseason as they prepare for a great season next year. They will be looking for a new quarterback as Chris Hood graduates, as he's a senior. And that leaves Dwayne Shannonhouse, who will be a senior next year, and I believe Kyrell Harris, who will be a sophomore. So those guys will be battling it out. And who knows, you know, the off season is where they earn the right to be good, as Joe Cowart likes to say, and to earn that starting spot. So be interesting times.
I coached up both of those young men, ninth grade hoops. Both of them are pretty good athletes. So I think the quarterback position will be in good hands, but they got big shoes to fill.
Oh yeah,
we're filling Chris Hood's shoes.
Absolutely. Okay, Red Hurricane Report is in the books. We have one more segment. We'll take care of that right here next on Gridiron.
When I became an attorney, I chose to stay here because my friends and neighbors needed a lawyer they can count on. I believe that if you're hurt on the job, you shouldn't have to go it alone, especially if your employer or the insurance company tries to bully you. You can count on me to get you the workers' compensation benefits that you deserve. Even if it gets rough, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stand my ground right here where I've always been. I'm Larry Kelly, and I'm a Newcastle guy.